really
any like little mistake that kind of gets muted. Generally,
when it's chipped up.
not at all.
Is that the same?
So it really helped my technique to practice with the hands, just to be more precise.
So didn't you have to strap your head out when you visited y'all when you was about 15? Because I got video of you playing that thing. You're sitting on your living room floor. Skylar was videoing you and you were sitting there tearing it up.
Yeah, I solo traded it. I never played it. I never played this for a long time. I've got a guitar stand. Now that I have a guitar stand,
I might be more tempted to slay as I really tried for a while. After you first wrote me a chain, after we first started getting ready to do the song, and I was going to practice.
I don't want to go that way.
Just to make the video and all this stuff. And that might have started to do
We're going to get it. I just found out you were going to be doing some fighting with Bob yesterday. I would love to see.
We kind of loosely talked about that. Yeah, I'm about to go check it. Kind of loosely talked about that.
Well, it's kind of true. We were up at Chambers Lake, and I actually had gotten, I was sleeping in the back of the pickup, and everybody else was sleeping in a tent. And I went up about, I don't know, it was the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I walked down by the river, middle of the night, and I heard something like in the brush around me, walking around me, and it was going, out, out, you know, making this real weird sound. I was going, what the heck was that? So I get back, and the minute I get back in the truck, I hear screaming, because this bear got to a tent like down below us, and there was a guy that was foolish enough to have put his food in his tent, you know, and it wasn't, you know, the bear went in there and ripped open his, all of his cold stuff. So Grandpa, my dad, went out and got an axe. We didn't have a gun with us, he got an axe, and kind of protected the campsite. You know, we were ready to take the bear on. Unfortunately, we didn't have to, but I don't know, you know, I don't know for sure, you know, he might have shot it. He might have shot it out, you know, because it would have been out of season, so he wouldn't have said anything. So maybe if he told that story, it might have turned out good.
And I never really heard the whole story, but I heard that there was a story that, of course, everybody, your dad is a legend in the family, you know, looked like Errol Flynn and everything, and that we had this legendary thing that y'all are out in the wilderness and y'all are in tents and everything, and a bear comes in on him and he pulls out his .44 Magnum and shoots the bear dead and everything.
Well, you know, now he used to go.
That would have been a good movie, but
you know, that might have. He used to go hunting with Uncle Jim, Grandma's brother, and Grandma's brother was looked like Fox Cartwright. You know, he's a big old guy, and they'd go hunt and they had some bear stories. I mean, because they would hunt elk.
maybe that was really based on something true.
So that might have happened. I mean, I don't, you know. Now, the closest I know that just probably about 10 years ago, they came home, and him and Grandma came home, and they had their dog was barking, and he had treed a mountain lion right on their ranch, right up on the telephone pole, and the mountain lion was sitting up there. And my dad went and got his .22, and he nailed it.
He went right underneath it, and he said, he just popped him.
Yeah, he went right underneath it, and he shot it, and the mountain lion fell down, and Shep went after him, and that mountain lion hit Shep, and he said it was like a bowling ball. This sent Shep rolling and then took off, but he died. You know, the mountain lion died, but that's about the only late, you know, wildlife that I know. But he's probably got stuff that I don't know.
Lindy was telling me yesterday that when you guys lived at that house that we saw today, that some guys were trying to like steal something.
Oh, yeah.
And he like hid underneath, put blankets over it and hid underneath there. And the guys opened the thing and he's sitting there with his gun.
Well, he pulled the shotgun on the sheriff here. They had, when we first built that house on Three Rivers Road, when we were building it, there was some guys that came and stole a bunch of this lumber. And he thought they were going to come back. He says, I can't afford to have them come back. So he sit out there with his shotgun. At night, they boiled peanuts and sugar cane and stayed up all night waiting. And he said a car came up the road, and then it stopped and kind of pulled back and was kind of looking around. So my dad jacked around in his shotgun, and he kind of crept up because then the car pulled into the driveway. He says, "Yeah, I got you now." So he snuck up behind the guy. And just as the guy got out of the car, he stuck the shotgun in his face. He says, "If you move 1 inch, if you twitch your finger, I'm going to blow your head off." And the guy went, "I'm the sheriff, I'm the sheriff." And it was written up in the newspaper. He got the drop on the sheriff, and I guess the sheriff had seen some light from him and thought, heard about the robbery.
Oh man.
So
Hilarity ensues.
yeah. So and that was
And 10 years later, when your dad got out of jail, they.
Back then it was so different. Yeah, nowadays you would have been, arrested and everything else. Back then it was just laughing. There was a funny story in the paper.
Got me.
Yeah. You have to ask him.
You can tell.
No, I don't know. He was kind of crazy when he was young, but I don't know. He didn't tell me. She always is suspicious. She's always suspicious.
She wants the dirt.
I want the dirt. You gotta pass it down.
She needs to be able to make millions later on.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about my dad and the Spruce Goose. Howard Hughes' in the Spruce Goose. My dad he got a pilot's license after he got out of the Marines, and he had a biplane that used to fly. And he was up in the harbor, and he actually saw the Spruce Goose, and they were working on it. And it's such a huge thing. He says, I had to fly down and take a look at it. Well, they're back there. Anyway, so he says he flew down to take a look at it in his biplane, and one of the workmen, they saw him, and he got a little low, so the guy flipped him off, and that got his dander up, and he went and buzzed the wings of the Spruce Goose and made everybody dive into the harbor. And when he got back to the airport, the FAA was there, and they took his license for a couple of years for that. But they gave it back to him, but he shouldn't have done that. But the guy flipped him off, and he says, "Yeah, I'll show you." And they were jumping in the harbor off the wing.
How come that wasn't in the movie?
Well, if it's in the movie, he's the one that did it.
Yeah.
But was that in the
No, I says, how come it wasn't in the
I
movie?
was going to say, yeah.
We got that park in the dome next to the Queen Mary. We had that park in the dome next to the Queen Mary home.
Yeah, it's like a climate control. Yeah, he actually got that off the water, I guess. He flew it several hundred yards, about 30 feet or so. So he actually proved it could fly. That was about it.
They were bringing, right there in Long Beach, they were bringing the Queen Mary in. My dad and all those bunch of guys were down there and they were testing the race boats. My dad was working on my uncle's boat. My uncle took my dad's boat. 18-foot flat bottom bead drive with 426 units. The tugboats were bringing in the Queen Mary. It was like 65, maybe 66. And so my uncle, he's out there cruising around with low profile flat bottom bead drive. He's out there snooping with Queen Mary. And the tugboat's going to PA and they yelled for him to get away. So he went to turn. As he turned, he caught a big old rushing wave coming off the tugboat and he flipped the boat. My dad's boat. I'm pissed. The guy that had built the boat, it's an old wood deck. And they use this wood called milkwood. Real expensive. Because it was a race boat, they always, flip or wreck and everything. He had stuffed so much fur in the bow of the boat that when he flipped it, it actually sunk the boat. But the boat was standing straight up like this. About 3 feet of the bow was sticking up out of the water. It was just sitting there. So my uncle being 6'6", and he's just kind of wading in the water, and the Coast Guard comes up. He says, "Oh, everything's okay." He says, "I'm fine." He said, "The boat's okay." He said, "Transom's sitting on the bottom." And I just learned this story a couple weeks ago because I found an old friend of my dad's on the internet. He went to high school with it, actually built the wood deck. And the Coast Guard looked at him, he says, "Transom's sitting on the bottom, huh?" He goes, "Oh yeah, boat's fine." He said, "I just need a tow back to the ramp." Yes, sir, it's 70 feet deep right there. The boat wasn't sitting on the bottom of the water. But he got too darn close to that Queen Mary when they were.
It just tipped it.
Yeah, he caught the weight just right, and went to turn, and it just flipped the damn boat.